Okay. This
It
meeting
says
is set.
preparing to live feeding meeting. It says, oops,
Okay.
no, this. Oh, what is going on here? Okay, I believe we are live.
We alive, are we?
Yes, we are. Let me make sure this is muted. Okay, that is muted. How are you doing, my dear?
I am well. I'm doing really well. Feeling a little tired today.
Yeah,
Feeling a bit tired because I was rushing around doing some bits and pieces. Wasn't as leisurely as I had anticipated,
yeah,
but still feeling good. Feeling good about today. Plan on going out later. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
yeah.
I'm feeling good. How are you doing?
I'm feeling well. I'm just kind of flowing with the day, I guess. Yeah, I'm just kind of here in this current space, enjoying this lovely Venus day.
Hmm.
I think I might go see Wicked later, actually.
Uh,
So
yeah, you know what? I keep saying that I'm going to see Wicked, and then after I have the conversation, it disappears from my head. It
yeah,
disappears. It literally disappears from my. I don't know what it is. Like this whole week, I've
yeah,
been like, okay, come the end of the week, Thursday or Friday, I'm gonna go see Wicked. Today is Friday, and it didn't even cross my mind about going to see Wicked.
yeah,
But I actually do want to see it.
yeah,
Heard some good reviews about it, and just loving the energy of Cynthia Erivo in particular.
yeah.
Um,
Same.
so yeah, I'm drawn to going to see it. I want to go um to one of those like really nice theaters or cinemas
Yes.
um with the reclining seats and the lovely popcorn and wine and blah blah blah. So
Yeah,
um yeah, I want to make a date of it, whether by
yeah,
myself or with somebody. So um yeah, we'll see.
That's the energy that I'm in. I'm gonna go by myself. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna it's Friday's Venus Day. It's that self-care, self-love
Yeah.
energy, take myself on a little solo date.
I love
So yeah.
I've got to say, loving the look today. I just have to give you a
Thank
shout
you.
out. Loving the look today.
Thank you.
Absolutely
I was
stunning.
feeling new energy, like it's time for something fresh. So I was like, yeah, let's do a little short situation. So
I love it. I love it. That's all I can say. I absolutely love it. So you give me some inspo for when I'm getting ready to go out later. Um, energy wise. So yeah.
yeah, love it.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
I wanted to say last week on the Timeless Goddess Insights, this time last week, I realized that we had gone into our conversation, but we hadn't actually introduced ourselves.
Okay.
It came to mind
That
like
would be helpful.
that would be helpful. So I thought just, just for those who may be new, who may be listening for the first time, or you may have come across some of our stuff before, maybe not. Um, my name is Marie Antoinette, and I am a divine feminine guide, and I specialize in divine feminine and dark feminine embodiment. And so I help women through transformative coaching sessions and resources to really embody in the entirety of who they are and their power. So the goal is for all of us, I think, subconsciously to live a life that is full of like ease and flow and abundance. All the good feels, all the good things, all the good feelings. But somewhere along the line, for most of us, some kind of reprogramming took place. And for
Mhm.
many of us, we don't realize that that is still possible, that is accessible.
Yeah,
And so I am in a position where it's my soul's calling and purpose to really guide women through this process. And I'm enjoying the trajectory and the journey that I'm on.
yeah,
Um, I'll let Liv introduce herself, and then we'll
yes,
talk about a little bit about what we do collectively,
yeah,
what we're working on collectively. But go ahead, Liv.
Yes, I am Liv, aka Olivia Grant. I am what I would consider a goddess guide. I help women embody their divinity essentially through a variety of mediums. One of my most kind of powerful ways of receiving downloads and kind of channeling and helping women is through writing. So, yeah, I create tools for women. I create crystal infused journals and grimoires, and the the main thing that I'm here to do is I work with women, maybe a sister, as the co-founder of her Emerald Club, which I'm sure we'll go into in a second. But yeah, I'm here, as I like to say on threads all the time, I'm in service to the goddesses. So I am here in my purpose and embodying my divinity and spreading light so that um, other women can remember their light and remember their divinity and embody that goddess energy. It's so powerful and it's so magnetic and it's the answer to a lot of a lot of things that we have going on. So yeah, I help women assist with
I love that. I love hearing us um express, articulate like who we are and what we do. Just hearing it back. Like it's one
that.
thing saying it for yourself, but me listening to you and hearing you say this, it just there's just something about what we do and how we're operating and how we're navigating life and our purposes um at this time that is just so powerful,
Yeah,
especially with us working together on her Emerald Club, which is a global society where members can express their full capabilities as divine feminine women by tapping into the highest possibilities available to them. And we are working on, and we have so much that's coming through this channel of her Emerald Club,
yeah,
mainly our app, which is going to be the main hub for our offerings and the connection um, that our keepers will get to truly.
yeah.
I'm laughing because it's like I can't wait to talk about this with more depth and clarity
Yes.
when that time is right. Um, we touch on it often at the beginning of the episodes, and it's like I'm buzzing with excitement because this has been a long time coming, and everything
Yeah.
that we've experienced in our lives up until this point has put us in the position or got us ready for this huge undertaking
Yeah.
that we don't take for granted. Being sisters, being siblings, um, is plays a very important but small part of this process
Yeah.
because it's beyond just being siblings that has us um, really working with such synergy
Yeah.
because this is like a spiritual connection and dance that we do that is indescribable at times,
Yeah.
totally indescribable at times. And so I just always love to say how grateful I am for you, grateful that we have chosen to incarnate into this experience in the same lifetime
Yeah.
because the powerhouse that we are when we come together to really be of service to the goddesses is just it's unbelievable. It's
Yeah.
absolutely unbelievable. So yeah, I always love to express gratitude for you, for us, this current experience, because it takes for both of us to be on um similar trajectories uh unintentionally, in the sense of like it's not
Yeah.
us trying to be on the same
Yeah. It's
trajectory
not
or
a conscious effort. It
or
just
conscious.
is.
You
Yeah.
walking your path and me walking my path has us in alignment. And I think that's a good actually opening into the topic of today because
Yeah.
we're talking Remind me of the complete title. So it was
The Celestial Circle, The Magic of Divine Sisterhood and Sacred Togetherness, I believe.
a powerful, powerful topic and title in itself. But when we talk about being in alignment with people and celestial circles or sister circles and sacred togetherness, alignment is the word that comes into mind.
Yeah,
Alignment, resonance, um, because another word that comes into mind is friendships, but not necessarily for the reasons that people may think. Um,
yeah,
because I think often friendships can lack the resonance and the alignments
yeah.
that uh, celestial circles, divine sisterhood can have. So, yeah, what's your thoughts on this?
It's such a powerful conversation because, like you said, like even just the different terms. Oh, hold on a second. My dog is demanding my attention. Just one second. Jesus. Um, um, please. Um, Even just the different terms, they just bring about such different energies. And I think we're moving into a time in which it's important for women in particular to, I guess, kind of take a look at how they're showing up in different relationships. I guess as it pertains to sisterhood and friendships and things like that. I think it's we're all going through such powerful awakenings that we must not only show up as our full selves in these relationships, but give other women the grace to also show up as their full selves in
Mm,
relation to you. And that often means releasing things like codependency
yeah.
and expectations and really being aware of whether you are generating your own energy and embodying self-awareness so that you're not projecting and you are, truly holding space for another woman as she is. I think that's important because I feel like when we go into these relationships and friendships and sisterhoods, we can kind of have an expectation of how another person has to show up for us.
Mhm.
But they don't have to show up for us in any particular way. First and foremost, we must show up for ourselves wholly and fully
Mhm.
and operate from that kind of standpoint. And so we have to, like everything else, we have to level up our relationships too.
Yeah, I I always agree. Um, because we're just usually in alignment with certain perspectives. And that this is one area that I know that we're definitely in agreement on and aligned with. And I think that stems from us operating that way with each other. I can wholeheartedly, honestly, and truly sit here and say that I don't have expectations of Liv to show up in any type of way. She's always honest and true to who she is. And if that is in alignment, which I'm not even gonna say luckily, because
Mm,
it takes a particular type of individual with a particular type of mindset to resonate on a deeper level with what we're saying. And
yeah.
so it's not luck. Um this is integrity, this is honesty, this is self-work, this is self-awareness that puts us in a position where we resonate in such a way that is I don't know what the word is. It's powerful, it's transformative, it's expansive,
Mm,
it's integral to
I like
our
that.
individual journeys and growth.
Yeah.
Um, I think so many of us have expectations of uh friendships, um because there's so much that I say we as a collective are, as women, looking for someone else to fill like a void, or somewhere where you feel you may be lacking. You expect somebody to step in and prop you up. um Maybe there's an expectation that you'll be able to resonate on a lower frequency and nobody hold you accountable for that, right?
Right.
So there's expectations can look different, not necessarily that somebody's expecting something specific or you're expecting something specific from somebody. The expectation could be that the other person or the other individual ignores what doesn't resonate with themselves so that it
Yeah.
suits codependency relationship that you have with them. That's an
Yeah.
example, right? Um, and along my journey, I'm learning to, I'm still learning because there's always levels, um, to truly release all expectations from
Yeah.
people. That's not easy because it can differ depending on the nature of that relationship. You're talking about sister circles and friendships, but how does that work when it's mother-daughter
Mm.
or relationships with your partner? Like there's different dynamics where the principle still remains the same,
Yeah.
but the work that you may have to do to release the expectation may feel, because it's perception,
Mm.
more challenging to you
Yeah.
because maybe deeper
Perception.
attachments.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something?
No, I was just reiterating what you said there in terms of it is perception, and it's like at every kind of level of resistance that we feel, we're just given an opportunity to like go deeper within self to really get to the bottom of why we feel this level of resistance because of the nature of this relationship that you have with this individual. And I think that's where the self-awareness comes in. Um, because rather than, and also not just the self-awareness, but the willingness to challenge um, the beliefs and the agreements that we've made with ourselves. Because
Mhm,
instead of just feeling that resistance and then automatically just operating from a place of resistance,
mhm,
we can now make the choice to see the resistance and challenge it, challenge
mhm.
it, and um, get to the bottom of why we've made these agreements with one another.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
basically.
No, I agree with you. I like the fact that you separated the self-awareness with like truly releasing that resistance,
Yeah,
because or the willingness to release resistance,
yeah,
because there's plenty of people who are self-aware
yeah,
but choose not to do the thing they know they should be doing to help them elevate. So it's not that
yeah.
they're not aware, it's that they're not willing to, for whatever the
Yeah.
reason, not willing
Because
to.
that's really like you've got to sit with yourself and challenge often things and ways of being that you've just accepted as this is how things go.
Oh, you froze there. Say that
Oh,
again.
can you
You
hear
got
me?
to challenge.
Because now you've got to challenge things that are deeply ingrained that you've accepted as law within yourself and within your own personal operating system, and that can be hard for a lot of people.
I think it's hard for most people, and
Yeah.
it's reasons why I think uh, people experience fallouts within sister circles or friendships, because if we were all true and honest to ourselves about where we are along our journey, releasing certain resistance, releasing expectations, then when somebody does something that is out of alignment with you and you're not vibing with that, you can release that or release that connection with that person without there being the extra baggage or drama that can go along with that.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think for a lot of people there is um there's layers and there's levels, and it's all perception and choices at the end of the day. But when you truly value uh people for who they are as individuals, um, you you release all expectations of them to show up for you in any particular way, and are grateful for whatever way that they do show up.
Mm.
I'm somebody who is doesn't really get deeply attached. And that might sound strange to a lot of people, but when it comes to friendships, um, that's not representative. My lack of attachment or codependency doesn't represent the value that I place on any individual friendship or relationship.
Mm. Yeah,
And I think sometimes people can uh, misunderstand that,
yeah,
right? Because an example is I can go weeks, months sometimes without speaking to particular friends. And then when I do speak to them, it's like no time has passed. I'm fully immersed in the moment, fully
mm.
immersed in their experiences, and vice versa. And there's no strange energy around
Yeah,
that, because I understand that everybody's living their lives and operating in a way that they uh, deem best for them, and
yeah,
learning not to take, and I've been like this for a long time, but not to take those sorts of things personally. Because what people have going, you are not the center of everybody's story.
no,
That's the first thing.
that's the
Sometimes
thing.
we center ourselves in something that we have no business centering ourselves in. And sometimes we have to recognize that there's so much that we don't know that's happening, good, bad, or indifferent, that are happening in people's lives, and giving people space to just and be human with no expectation on how they ought to show up in your space or in your remit.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't have that. I think there are conscious expectations that this is how my friend
Mm.
shows up for me. It's one of the reasons why I have a really strange connection to the word loyalty,
Mm.
because I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I resonate with people. I
Right.
resonate on whether it's behaviors, um, ideologies. I connect with people for different reasons. I
Yeah.
don't have any desire to adhere to whatever your principle of loyalty is.
Right. Because it's
And
like
I
be loyal to yourself and everything that aligns with you will come into your remit.
it's literally that. It's this uh spiritual orientation that we're doing. So when you're thinking it from a very basic 3D level, in a way, like you can get hung up on those that perspective or that way of thinking, but
Yeah.
nobody owes you anything. And when you
No.
understand that and you release that, you can start to experience the beauty in your long-term relationships and your short-term relationships,
Yeah.
the relationship that you have with the person that you just met on the train the other day. Like
Yeah.
each engagement, each interaction serves a purpose. And sometimes those are lifelong and lasting, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're for a moment, and you understand what it is for that moment, for that period of time, and
Yeah.
you express your gratitude and you're grateful for that. And then you realize, okay, right now maybe we're out of alignment, and that's
Yeah.
no reflection on whether you're a good or bad person. I don't
No, like that's
really
okay.
speak in binaries like that anyway, but it's okay. People come into your life at different times for different reasons, and they exit for the same
Yeah.
thing. Um, so yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on just like the idea of even loyalty, and looking at relationships or friendships from that, what I describe as quite basic um way of looking at it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I just feel like there's so much beauty in practicing non-attachment within relationships in general, and definitely within um relationships between women, because as a woman, I feel like every woman has that innate desire to be free, wholly and fully free, free to be themselves, free to, we fluctuate just every single day throughout the month. And it's like we all want to feel free to just be ourselves all the time, no matter what that looks like. So it's such a beautiful thing where we can hold space for one another to do that. And I feel like it's simply, when that doesn't happen within relationships, I feel like it is simply a reflection of how free you're allowing yourself to be,
Mm,
how much you're holding space for yourself to be in your authenticity. And I feel like for a lot of women, because they are not allowing themselves to be free, because they're building their own prisons, they are searching outside of themselves for someone else to fill in these gaps and to validate how they're operating,
mhm,
which of course is not a healthy way to necessarily operate, but it can cause such friction within divine relationships when it doesn't need to be any.
mm,
It all comes back down to self, as we say, like free yourself. Because if you are freeing yourself and you are giving yourself the grace and the space to completely be your true authentic self, and you are holding space for yourself in your fluctuations and allowing yourself to change at any given moment, you're going to naturally give someone else that same grace.
mm. Agreed. Yeah, people can only show up for you as much as they show up for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100% agree. Um, I was thinking as you're speaking, like, okay, so we've sort of discussed like what's not particularly healthy. But turning the conversation on its head now and saying, okay, what does healthy dynamic look like when you're talking about divine sisterhood and sacred togetherness, and like what does that even look like? What does that mean to you or to me? And when I think of think of those terms, the first thing that comes to mind is what you said. It's going back to self first and foremost.
yeah,
It's freedom, it's integrity, it's authenticity within
yeah,
yourself. And I think when you are somebody who is operating in that way, you start to connect and you resonate with people who are operating in that way
yeah,
frequently. Those are the people that you start to connect, and you start to repel those who don't. Um,
yeah,
you might not even realize it when relationships maybe break down or there's distance, and it feels kind of strange and awkward. Something's going on, something's in the air, but nothing's
yeah,
been. And it's often that there's a disconnect. You're kind of vibrating frequency wise, like differently. Something's there. You're not going crazy. There's an energetic disconnect there.
yeah,
And so I think for me, it's like I said, I think it begins with authenticity, um, divine connections with other women can only truly flourish when each person, each individual is showing up in their authentic self
yeah,
first and foremost.
yeah,
Like that's the basis. Like if you're not, if one person is and one person isn't, it
yeah,
just, and I think also going back to the nature of our relationship, these aren't relationships that you will even necessarily have to consciously create.
yeah,
Because when you're in alignment with something, there's this natural magnetism that happens.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of women out here who, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this, are looking for their circles, looking for other women who are resonating, um, or sometimes it's not even that deep because some of the stuff that I see it's not even about resonance. It's people with similar ideas or people with similar goals or desires, but on a
Yeah.
deeper energetic level for for these relationships or these connections to be somewhat lasting, there has to be like a spiritual and energetic alignment that takes place.
Yeah.
Can't be that can't be faked.
Yeah.
Because at some point it your true nature reveals itself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, even going back to what you just said just now about a lot of women are searching for their circles, and it's like, I mean, it's a very real thing to perhaps have to sit down and ask yourself why. Like, why am I searching? It's not that there's anything wrong with having a circle, but I think it's important to get to the root of why you are looking.
Mhm,
Just for your own awareness,
mhm.
like why do I want this? And I feel like that will reveal a lot of things because I feel like we all benefit from human connection, and definitely women benefit from these animals are all over me today.
I just keep laughing.
Lord.
The tail. The
Yeah,
tail
like just tails
is
everywhere, like snouts in my face. Anyway, snout. Anyway, um, I feel like yeah, it will reveal a lot. Um, just for yourself, because like I was saying, it's we all benefit from human connection. Women benefit from connections with other women, of course. Um, but it's so important that we don't come from that space of wanting to fill some kind of gap or wanting to
Mm,
fill some kind of void. Um, the irony is when the moment we become fully accepting and willing to go at life alone and sit with ourselves and with our divinity and really just be 100% comfortable with being alone and generating of our own energy. That is the moment when everybody who's aligned with that comes into your life.
yeah.
That's literally the moment where it's ironic, but just because you may not be searching, you may decide to not search for a circle or search for a partner or whatever it is. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come into your life. It doesn't mean that it's not important or that it's not going to be beneficial to your life. Um, it just means that you know that you are okay regardless. You are self-sufficient. And, when it comes down to it, we're never really alone. Like we're literally operating, we are the eternal beings that are just in these temporary vessels. Like we have such power and divinity running through us, and we are all connected anyway. We don't need
Mhm.
to go searching for that connection. The moment that we can go within and really feel the expansiveness of our own souls and spirits, that's the moment that everything
Comes
kind of
together.
lights up and flares up. And it's like if you're not in that space, you got to be careful because you're not going into relationships with all these expectations and all these ideas of how it should be, and you want to slap labels on things, and you just automatically, even if something comes into alignment naturally, sometimes, a lot of the time, I feel like many of us have a tendency to want to start labeling it as something and
Mhm.
putting it into these boxes when it was just meant to be enjoyed as
Experience.
it comes in the
Yeah.
present. And when it's time for it to leave, you need to, release it with grace and not hold on past its sell by date.
Yeah. Yeah. I oh, totally agree with that. And that's most definitely been something that I've witnessed when it comes to relationships and particularly with me, I suppose, because I'm somebody who does uh consciously and unconsciously practice non-attachment.
Yeah.
Um, and so if I'm connected with
Connected
people
with people.
who don't really understand that or don't really do that with themselves, it can only go so far because the expectations are wild. And I can only promise you that I'm going to act in an authentic way. Um, that's it. Point blank
Yeah.
period. There's no, you don't get a pass. Um, Nobody gets a pass. It's this is who I am. This is how I'm going to operate. And that's not to say that I don't operate with love, kindness, and consideration. Absolutely. But I'm going to be honest and um,
Yeah.
what resonates, resonates, and what doesn't, doesn't. And I can be quite vocal about my position on certain things.
Yeah.
I'm never here to dictate or to tell anybody how they should or shouldn't, but I will I'll most definitely um operate in a way that is true to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be beautiful to experience for many more women to experience true sacred connections
Yeah.
with other women that aren't based on any expectations other than integrity and um, operating from a place of love. And those aren't even expectations, like those are just standard principles for navigating um, life in a beautiful way, right?
Yeah.
Anybody who's vibrating at a high frequency, um, like those are that's what you give off love.
Yeah.
Like you, so everything that you do, how you connect with people, how you operate, like it's on this frequency. And that is attractive to so many people. But it's you don't operate from a place of uh expectancy. Is that even a
Yeah.
word?
Yeah.
Expect like I don't go
Yeah.
into connections with people expecting them to show up in any kind of way other than what's true to them. Like to
Yeah.
me, that is bizarre. However, I will say that subconsciously, because we are humans and most of us have grown up in with some level of family unit, whether it's
Mm.
single mother, single father, both parents, uncles, aunties, uh older person, individual that you refer to or you see as as an auntie or whatever it is, like there, and because of that, by virtue of that, we have learned to have certain levels of expectations depending on the relationship. And
Yeah.
it's been conscious
Mm.
work that I've had to do
School.
to practice, like to
Yeah.
undo some of that. And that ain't easy. It's not
Yeah.
easy because when you start to do that, you really have to like peel back the layers of self and ask yourself, like, why are you feeling this way? What are the areas that you need to address? Like, this is where the deeper shadow work comes in, like
Yeah.
addressing some voids that you didn't even recognize were there
Yeah. Yeah.
that stem from childhood. So the little you inside of you has got you operating in a way that isn't serving you, but is trying to keep you safe, but is actually creating more problems because you're not
Yeah.
in that level of danger anymore.
Right.
Um, and maybe you were never in that level of danger, but it was perceived, you perceived it to be in that
Yeah.
way. So, yeah. I don't know if that's even making sense, but just so many thoughts when it comes to dynamics and uh expectations that it's easier said than done for most of us because there's
Yeah.
just so much there. But
Yeah.
it's important to shed light onto that and to bring it to the forefront so that you can start addressing some of those um, unhealthy attachments or codependencies
Yeah,
that exist and can cause you to operate in a way that's problematic for yourself,
yeah,
in connecting with other people um, throughout your lifetime.
yeah. I 100% agree. It all just comes down to self. Like, especially like there's so much power and magic that happens when we do allow ourselves to have these beautiful um female relationships. And at this point, it's just really, really important to just hone in on all the potential ways that you're getting in your own way when it comes to having these divine and sacred relationships. Like there's so much that can be uncovered and so much that is uncovered when women just get to talking and are their authentic selves. Like it's like puzzle pieces. You realize that we are more alike than we even know. Women from all over, and it's like just we're all doing our own individual personal work throughout our life, but it's like when we come into these relationships and interactions, just coming into it with a real sense of authenticity and non-expectation, and just see where that goes.
Yeah. Um, because like you would say, like beautiful things happen when like women come together. And I think even just touching on that, like we've had conversations historically about just the beauty that and not just beauty, but just the power that is when women truly work together,
Yeah,
really work together. Like historically, women being in communities where they can support one another in a way that is different with men, whether that's you're in a relationship with that individual or that's a male figure in your family. But there's something about women and how we converse, how we communicate, how we intuitively can connect with one another in a way that is healing
yeah,
and warm and healthy, and supportive and nurturing and all of these beautiful things. And so I'm grateful to have incarnated on this planet as a female. That's the first thing.
yeah. Same.
As a person, I'm sure however I would have arrived, I would have done great. But as a female, like it's an honor to be in
Just
this space.
hits different.
It hits different. It's an honor to be in this vessel and navigating this experience as a woman, just like we are the individuals that bring forth life
Mm.
and keep this planet going. Like, can we just pat ourselves on the back there? Like, just walking around with this like magic portal. Like, this is like a serious undertaking.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful and wonderful undertaking to be able to sit here with all this power,
yeah,
and not to disregard men, but this is a conversation and a safe space for women, right?
yeah,
I've wholeheartedly put respect on them and the way that they have to operate and navigate.
yeah,
But for the timeless goddess insights and the context of what we're talking about, like
yeah,
us women are something phenomenal. And I think if more of us understood just that and got out of our heads, like
yeah,
tapped into our hearts, like really started to pay attention to the intuitive guidance that we're receiving, and started to operate in a way that really served us as individuals, we would soon start to understand that as much as it's serving us as individuals, it's serving the collective.
Yeah.
Like it's like going in order to expand and that energy reverberate out into the world, the
Yeah.
universe. Like if more of us started to operate in a way that was true, authentic, integral, and in alignment with us as individuals,
Yeah.
even more of us would be unstoppable.
Literally.
And that's to me is the glue that holds us together.
Yeah.
Like it's not looking outside, it's going back in. And that is the glue that actually will connect you to the other women who are operating in that way. And this is how you start to create these divine networks of women
Yeah.
that are honoring themselves
Yeah.
wholeheartedly, spewing nothing
Mm.
but love.
Yeah.
Stop searching.
And it's like you open yourself up to like to have the capacity to connect with and pour love into so many more women. Because sometimes it's like you have these circles that we think we found, and it's like we just close ourselves off to everything else, and this is just our circle for what
Mhm.
for life. And it's like we actually have the capacity and the potential to impact and awaken things within so many women if we just let the natural ebb and flows of these connections just do whatever it does. You know?
Releasing the resistance and the need to um, hold on to, restrict, or control that. So even like the term I've heard people say like no new friends, for example, the strangest thing for me, like it's the strangest, like why would you ever say that? Right. First of
Right.
all, like why? Secondly, secondly, like um you're going to and you should be evolving and changing over time. Meaning the things that you are connecting with, the things that you became
Right.
attached to, or whatever it is, like they should there should be an ebb and flow to things in life.
Yeah.
And whilst you can have long-term relationships, long-term friends, ultimately who you are as an individual is going to change over time, meaning the things that you connect with or resonate with will change over time.
Yeah.
And even with long-term friendships and relationships, like my perspective on that is a little differently because for me, I'm like going back to what we said in the beginning, it's about alignment. It's not about forcing or holding on to connections or friendships. It's about
Yeah.
you operating in your truest self, somebody else operating in their truest self, and you maintain that connection with that individual, not because you've known them since way back when, but because there's a true uh alignment that's taking
Yeah.
place, whatever that may be that
Right.
keeps you connected. Not just for the sake of saying I've known somebody this
Yeah.
length of time or she's
Right.
been my friend since way back when. And yes, there's value in those relationships too, but it's understanding like it's about alignment. So
Yeah.
you should be growing. It's the natural orientation of process of humanity
Yeah.
evolution. Nothing
Yeah.
stays the same.
No,
And
nothing.
so your dynamics will change, your friendships will change, the things that you resonate with will change over time, and that is a beautiful thing to
Yeah.
need to grow, evolve, and expand.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Ooh, I think um there's a lot to think about in this segment. Definitely a lot to think about. It's just so crucial for that level of self-awareness it takes to have these beautiful connections, um, to be just awakened within all women. We're in such powerful times. And one another thing we've been speaking about is just unity and coming together, regardless of what you look like, where you come from. Like this is a huge part of it. Like break down the question all of those resistances, all those barriers that you have to connecting with women, but also women who don't look like you, or women who from all sides of the globe. Like break down those walls because such powerful things are going to happen. Such powerful things are going to happen when we do that and
Agreed.
actually see the divinity within one another.
100% agreed. I can't believe we hadn't touched on this earlier because that is something that I've been thinking about for a
Yeah,
long time. Um, and I think we even mentioned in a previous episode, I can't remember what it was, but touched on the importance of really breaking down those barriers. I think it was the first of
yeah,
when it was Divine Fridays, when we did
yeah,
Divine Friday. But
yeah.
the
That's the
importance
first.
of breaking down those barriers and actually asking yourselves like, why why do I have these restrictions or these containers or these identities and these labels that I feel I have to adhere to, and everything that I connect with must be within the realms of that, because there's so much beauty when you step outside of that. Like when I think
Yeah,
about connecting with women, I personally am not thinking about just connecting with Black women, for example.
right,
I'm thinking about connecting with women, point blank, period, like women
right.
from different cultures, different experiences that have so much to offer in life. Like divinity has no color, no shade. Godliness
Mhm.
has no color, no shade, no creed.
Yeah,
Like when you're thinking from those levels, like connection with everything is important. Like everything, open yourself, expansion, opening yourself up to. And that's
yeah,
not to say there's not beauty within those identities or containers. No, most definitely. And I think
yeah,
that can be the starting point for a lot of people truly understanding themselves and who they
yeah,
are and their lineage and the importance uh how important that is in their current existence and experience. But as time goes on, as you grow and as you learn, and like the desire should be, I rarely use the word should, but
mm,
the natural orientation is to expand. So if you find that
yeah,
you're you're not doing that, or you're not
yeah,
expanding, or you're choosing to stay within these containers, and compartmentalizing certain things, just ask yourself some questions. Ask
yeah,
yourself why is there resistance? If
yeah,
so, like why is there resistance and where does that stem from? Because a lot of the time the underlying root is fear. Like
mm,
I must stay within these spaces because if I don't, X, Y, and Z may happen, or my
yeah,
people will benefit, or this or that. But is that true? Is that a truth you've taken
right.
on? You've taken on as truth? Is there's so much more beauty that can happen from opening yourself up to a variety of different connections and experiences?
Yeah,
Understand like there's so much beauty in connecting with all things divine,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So I don't know. For me, I'm just in a space of like I'm I'm loving connecting with women who are on a particular trajectory, regardless of where you're from, where your
yeah.
culture
Same.
um are vibrating on a particular frequency. You have similar desires to really connect and expand and um just improve this current experience that we're all having
Yeah,
by being of service in
yeah,
whatever shape or form. Like those are the people that I'm looking to connect with. And I just love that there are so many people out there doing just that. Like
yeah,
if you stay open, you will receive. They are there. We are here.
yeah.
If I'm like this, there's plenty million more people out there that are
Right.
like, I'm not unique in my approach or my experience. Um, but that's what sacred togetherness to me
Mm, yeah,
um is and looks like. It's yeah, all things divine coming together, um, outside of identities and compartmentalizing.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. Um, so much beauty when you realize that to embody your divinity is to recognize that that divinity runs through us all. And anything telling you otherwise is coming from a place of ego. So you really got to question that. Question that. If you're operating from a place of that's so hugely resistant to everything else that doesn't look like you or is not the same as you, you got to question the words where that's coming from, the place that that's coming from. Is that divine?
Mm. And question your willingness to accept anything that looks like you, because not having discernment is just
Yeah,
as problematic, right? So accepting and saying, okay, I only want to connect with this, but have you considered all the other aspects that you're probably haven't considered? Like what comes
yeah,
along with saying I want to connect with, it's like I give a real life, a real example, being on threads and saying, I just want to connect with all women. Okay, great. You will connect with all women, but not all women are vibrating on the frequency. Not all women are on in a space of wanting to expand or to grow. Not all women
yeah,
are have the similar mindset that you do, or similar approach to life, or have self-awareness. So
yeah,
there's ways of being discerning and saying,
yeah,
yeah, you might want to connect with women, but just opening yourself up isn't necessary to everything, isn't necessarily
yeah.
the way forward.
Discernment.
Closing yourself off
Yeah,
isn't how,
right.
you know,
Just everything with intention.
that's it.
Everything with intention.
Hmm.
Flow, release resistance, but move forth with intention.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Well, I think, I don't know if you've got any more to share on this topic, but I think this is a good point to end with. Um, Such a powerful conversation right here.
Hmm.
Such a powerful conversation right here. I'm looking forward to what we dive into next, or just diving into this further, or at some point, we're touching on, and we aim to touch on so many topics and points throughout this Timeless Goddess Insights
Hmm.
webinar. So yes, keep keep on our train, stay connected,
Stay
subscribe.
connected.
Haven't been saying subscribe,
It's true.
subscribe and like and
Subscribe,
share,
subscribe,
like, share,
subscribe.
subscribe. Look,
Yeah. Subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe. I can't even say the word anymore. Subscribe, like, and share, and like and share. Please do, because we've got so much to share with people. And so many people are interested in the stuff that we speak on. And yeah, we want to get connected with individuals who would love to, yeah, converse and, have dialogue.
yeah.
And if you have any suggestions as well for potential topics
Mm,
or things that you're interested in that you would like us to speak on, or throw it in the comments, and we'll see if it's something that resonates, and we'll bring
yes.
forth you one of these episodes. So yeah, if you've got nothing else to share right now, I think we can call it a day.
Yes, I've really enjoyed this. If you want to join the waitlist for our app, which is the inner sanctuary of our global community, then go to heremeraldclub.com. It will be in the caption of this video. So much to share in regards to that. So definitely join the waitlist, and you will be one of the first to know new information regarding that. So
Yeah.
yes, alrighty then.
Thank you, Becky. See you later.
See you later.